Are you ready for Decay? Can you tell what our new piece of armor is based on what I'm wearing? I don't usually wear one. It's my hat. And our new piece of armor today is the helmet of salvation. If we were going into a real battle, do you think this hat would protect me? I think we should put it to the test. Let's compare it to some other hats that I found. This is my sun hat. I also have a magician's hat. And I have a construction hat. Which one do you think would make the best helmet? Let's take a look. All right, let's test out each hat to see which one would make the best helmet. Do you guys think this one would hold up in a battle? We are going to drop a potato to see. All right, Price, can you drop that onto the hat? Oh, definitely would not hold up in battle. Let's try the sun hat. Drop it from up top. A little bit. Let's try the magician's hat. Paisley, you want to help me with this one? This one looks a little bit stronger. Do you guys think this one would hold up in a battle? Maybe it would make a good helmet. I squished it a little bit, so maybe not the best one. What about this construction hat?
Ooh, I think that would work. You ready? I like it.
Which one do you guys think would make the best helmet? That one? I think so too. The strongest helmet that you can put on is the helmet of salvation. Let's keep learning about that one. Well, it looks like I'm going to need a stronger helmet than this one if I were in a real battle. In this battle, we are not fighting against people. Do you remember who we are fighting? God's enemy, Satan. And today we're going to learn about the helmet of salvation. Now, salvation's kind of a big word. Can you say it? Salvation just means that we're friends with God. We believe in Jesus and that He forgives us. What do you like about being friends with Jesus? I like finding out that Jesus protects us. I've really enjoyed learning about the armor He gives us, and He can protect us with His salvation. Let's explore a little bit more in a Bible story today. We're going to read about it in Acts 16. But you know what? I'm going to need my stuffed animals that we used last week. I think I have them down here somewhere. Hold on. Phew, I finally found the stuffed animals, and we're going to use them in our story today. Although the people in our story weren't really wearing hats, we're going to add hats to the people that believed in Jesus. That way we know that they had their salvation. And we're going to pretend like the stuffed animals are people. We're going to find out that in the Bible there were two of God's friends, Paul. Can you say hi to Paul? And Silas. Hi, Silas. And they were friends with Jesus, so let's add on some hats. The Bible tells us that they were in jail. Do you see the chains around them? They hadn't done anything wrong, but God's enemy wanted them to stop telling about Jesus. Does this remind you of another story we learned about a few weeks ago? Well, while they were in jail, they were joyfully singing to Jesus. The jailer, which is the person who stands outside of the cell to make sure that the prisoners don't escape, he was listening to them sing, and he fell asleep. In the middle of the night, there was an earthquake. And during the earthquake, the chains fell off of the prisoners and the doors swung open. Well, the jailer woke up and saw that there had been an earthquake and that the doors to the jail were open. Oh no, he knew he would be in big trouble if the jailers had escaped. He was so upset that he was going to hurt himself. But then Paul and Silas said, "Stop. Can you tell them? Stop. We don't want the jailer to hurt himself." The jailer saw that Paul and Silas had stayed in jail even though the doors were open and their chains were off. they didn't leave. He knew Paul and Silas were friends with Jesus. And the jailer wanted to be friends with Jesus too. Let's add on his helmet of salvation. Because the jailer believed in Jesus, he was now friends with God and he could fight evil with salvation. The jailer felt so happy that he wanted to help Paul and Silas. He helped clean their boo-boos. Then the jailer asked if he could be baptized. We've seen people be baptized in our church, right? That's a way to tell people that you believe in Jesus. The jailer even took Paul and Silas to his home for a meal. And do you know what happened? The jailer's family started believing in Jesus too. Let's add on their helmets of salvation. Now they could all fight evil with salvation because they were all friends with Jesus. Finally, the jailer's boss said Paul and Silas did not have to stay in jail anymore. The leaders brought them out of jail, and Paul and Silas continued to fight evil with their salvation by telling others about Jesus and helping them to become friends with Jesus too. When we believe in Jesus, it's like we're wearing a helmet that protects us from God's evil enemy. We can fight evil with salvation too. All right, we're not quite done yet. All right, let's add on our helmet of salvation onto our knight. Hey, wait a minute. We're missing our other pieces of armor. Did you guys come and take the armor off of my knight? He does not look right. Let me see if I can find him. Oh, there they are. Well, let's add them back onto our knight because remember, we have to take on the full armor of God, which means each piece. As I add them, can you fill in the blank? Do you remember what each one is? This one is the belt of truth. The chest plate of righteousness. The shoes of peace. The shield of faith. And the one we learned about today was the helmet of salvation. And remember, salvation means that we're friends with Jesus and we believe in him. Do you? Well, that's an important piece. And that brings us to our challenges for this week. I want you to add on your helmet of salvation onto your knight. And I also want you to keep doing your memory verse. The one for this series is Ephesians 6:13. Therefore, take up the full armor of God so that you will be able to resist in the evil day. Well, we have not taken up the full armor of God yet because there's still one more piece. And we're going to learn about that next week. And that'll be the end of this series. What do you think the final piece is? Do you have a guess? And those are all of your challenges this week. I do want you to know that if there's a past challenge that you haven't done and you want to do, that is perfectly fine. So maybe this week you can get caught up on some challenges that you haven't done yet. And we'll end our series next week and find out about the final piece of armor. And I will see you then. Bye.